Welcome back, dear viewers. Regarding the tourism sector, we have in news that according to Google's Year of Search data, Cairo's position has been announced as the 5th most searched travel destination in the world for 2024. And talking more about tourism, I'm delighted to have over the phone Mr. Hazem Hasan, the tourism expert. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm delighted to have you in the Breakfast Show and on Night TV International. So,
Thank you.
first of all, how do you comment on this piece of news that Google has announced that in the Year of Search data, Cairo is listed as the 5th most searched travel destination in the world for 2024?
This is a very important thing to happen to Egypt, especially nowadays, because we know that one of the main resources of the hard currency in Egypt is tourism. When we look at the situation, the economical situation, actually, we need really the money coming from tourism these days because of the troubles in the region. And of course, when we speak about the Suez Canal, that is that was affected badly by what's going on in the region now. So
Yes.
we see that these are excellent news for Egypt. Because first, we know that the competition with the neighbors like Turkey, like Greece, like Morocco, Tunisia, and all the other countries of the Mediterranean basin, I'm talking about France, Spain, and all these competitors with Egypt in tourism, when we see with the importance of Google and the social media, which is the main place to find interesting sites and destinations for tourists. When we see this is an excellent news, and this is not due to a matter of luck. No, not at all, because when we look at the efforts made by the Egyptian state, either at the level of the security, at the level of the infrastructure, of all kinds, building hotels, new hotels, reviving the industry of cruise ships on the Nile, the
Yes.
other attractions, and the construction of new airports, the construction of the inauguration of some museums like the Egyptian Grand Museum, the renovation of the museum, or Greco-Roman Museum in Alexandria. The expansion in investing in building hotels and resorts on the seas, either the Mediterranean or the Red Sea, we see that all these efforts had a very important impact on this situation.
Yes, of course, and taking from your word that this, of course, did not come by luck. This came after so many efforts exerted by the Egyptian government in this regard. And this will allow me, if you allow me to ask you, how do you think the strengthening the ties from Egypt with other countries has helped to boost the tourism sector in Egypt, especially that we have the recent European tour that was done by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to Denmark, Ireland, and Norway, and he has invited the 3 different leaders to attend the official opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum. How do you comment on these efforts exerted in this regard?
Of course, it's a major effort when we speak about the words of our president to invite these countries, and it's a very smart action from his side, because we know very well that Danish and the Scandinavian countries in general,
yes,
their season to go on vacation is winter, as they have a lot of cold weather, and their people, they're seeking for the sun and the nice weather in Egypt. So it's a very important thing, and the impression in these countries that when our president speaks about tourism, this means that it is one of our priorities. When
yes,
the Egyptian president speaks about that, of course, and it's also a way to say that come to Egypt, you will find all what you need. So security-wise, everything, because there are a lot of rumors that Egypt will start a war in the region and things like that. This is not true, but the guarantee that they will come and they will enjoy security and weather and taking contact with the Egyptian people.
Yes.
All of these things were confirmed and assured by the president when he spoke to these countries about Egyptian tourism in Egypt.
Also, Mr. Hazem, let me benefit from your presence with me over the phone. Do you think that social media has boosted tourism in Egypt, or it has helped in sharing more rumors and it wasn't really helpful? How do you comment on this? Was it really helpful or not?
Of course, the mass media plays a very important role, and our target, we have a duty towards tourism in Egypt as people. We need to take contact with the other countries and tell them, come to Egypt. Egypt is safe. We have a wonderful weather. We have great things to see and very interesting and unique attractions in Egypt. So, of course, there is a negative way against Egypt.
Yes.
In the tourism especially. But our duty that we must get in and use the social media to spread all over the world that Egypt is safe. Egypt is opening its arms to all tourists from all nationalities. So this is a good opportunity for us to make, on the people's level, on the Egyptian people's level, a big effort to encourage tourists to come to Egypt and to spend their winter vacation, especially that our high season is winter.
Yes, and talking about more tourists coming to Egypt, we are recognizing some new nationalities are coming with bigger flows into Egypt, like, for example, the Chinese tourists or French tourists. How do you comment on these new nationalities growing more interest in Egypt?
Of course, we started actually new markets. We started to enter new markets to bring incoming tourism to Egypt. When we speak about China, as you mentioned, there were some markets that stopped, actually, like the Italian market. The Italians, they were very, very active in coming to Egypt. But in the past years, we could hardly find, we could have hardly found some Italian tourists spread somewhere here, somewhere there. But now we see that they're come back, and it's a very strong comeback. We see Italians, they started to come, and not only Italians, but I set Italian tourists as example. But many other countries started to send their tourists back again to Egypt, and this these varieties of nationalities coming to Egypt show that Egypt started to appear again on top of the list of the countries to be visited in this winter.
Yes, of course, and this announcement coming from Google is an evidence, of course, regarding this matter. And let me also ask you about the Gulf region. How do you think the Gulf region is also growing more interest in coming to Egypt, as we are witnessing this part of the region is really has more interest in Egypt?
Of course, the Gulf countries, they send every summer a huge number of tourists coming from there, and they spend a lot of money in Egypt. So, of course, it's a very important market, but it's not new. So we try now to attract more tourists coming from the Gulf, especially those who prefer to spend their vacations in Europe, you see. So I believe that there will be a growing number of tourists in the coming years coming from the Gulf region. Yes. So we have to get benefit of this. Of course, they have their own tourism. When I speak about Saudi Arabia, about the Emirates, we see that they started to be a competitor to us on the market. But on the other hand, they did not stop coming to Egypt. And not only this, but they started to choose Egypt as a favorite destination for them, comparing to the European countries in the past years.
Yes, of course. Also, Mr. Hasan, now we are approaching the Christmas season, and of course the New Year. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Thank you so much. So, how do you think tourists are planning their programs into Egypt? What type of places they are fitting into their programs?
Of course, Egypt is a country that has a very special ambiance.
Yes.
It's very festive when we see that in every area, public area, like when we talk about the big malls, about the big squares in the residential quarters of Cairo and Alexandria. We see the Christmas tree everywhere. A lot of companies, Egyptian companies and investments, they start to show how interesting and how beautiful are the ways they use, the new ways they invented to celebrate Christmas. When we talk about the other places like Walk of Cairo, for example, or the Promenade of the Nile, in Cairo, we see that it's very vivid when we see the boats, the motor boats, making cruising on the Nile for half an hour or an hour for a very cheap price. It starts to get a very good reputation, not only among the Egyptians, but also among the other nationalities coming to Egypt, other tourists. So this is to make bigger varieties of attractions. Even the little small things you see that are made individually, not only by big companies or hotel chains. We see that even these little businesses, they start to attract the attention of the tourists from all over the world. So many people, they know the classic ways, the classic promenades and ballads, but now we started to make it a big variety. So this, of course, will attract more tourists. The tourists who came before to Egypt, they will come to see the new Egypt that they haven't seen yet. So
Yes.
not only we're targeting people coming, tourists coming for the first time, but also we are trying to get back our past tourists to come back to see and enjoy the new Egypt.
Yes, of course, and definitely after the opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum, it is going to be a turning point in the tourism sector.
Exactly.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Mr.
You're
Hazem
welcome.
Hasan, the tourism expert. Thank you for your valuable insights. Dear viewers, this brings us to the end of this episode of The Breakfast Show. I could go on for hours with you, but unfortunately we have to end the episode at this point. That was Dream Tamer with you, and stay tuned on RTV International, Egypt's voice to the whole world for more updates on the top of the hour. And now it's time to say thank you for watching.